In the heart of the eastern lands, where the red earth stretches wide and tall palm trees sway to the rhythm of the wind, lies Umudike, a kingdom of strength, tradition, and honor. Its people are hardworking and proud. They farm the fertile soil, trade in bustling markets, and sing to the beat of ancestral drums. In Umudike, life is rich, guided by the wisdom of elders and the spirits of ancestors. At the center of this thriving land stood the palace of King Obieze, a ruler, humble and kind, beloved by all. Under his reign, peace flourished and the people rejoiced. Yet in his heart lived a deep sorrow. For though the king wore the crown of honor, his arms remained empty of a son to inherit his throne. Several years after, one evening, the village seer visits the king. The seer's voice, deep and steady, filled the air. Your wife shall soon bear you a son, a light to your throne and joy to your people. News of this prophecy spread quickly in the hearts of Umudike. Everyone was so happy about this news. But hidden in the shadows stood Mazi Nnadi, the king's stepbrother. Outwardly, he smiled, yet in his heart burned envy and ambition, for he too had the prophecy, and his wife was also expecting a child. When the night came, fate wove his dark thread. On the same night, both women went into labor. In the royal hut, the queen gave birth to a healthy son, but her joy was short-lived. Exhausted and frail, she took her last breath, leaving her child motherless. In Mazi Nnadi's compound, his wife too bore a son. Seizing this chance, Mazi Nnadi whispered wicked plans into the ears of the midwife. That night, under the cover of darkness, the midwife carried out his bidding. The babies were switched. The king's true heir was given to Mazi Nnadi's household, while his son was placed in the palace to be raised as a prince. The midwife trembled with guilt, but she knew too much. Days later, Mazi Nnadi silenced her forever, ensuring the truth of that night would be buried with her. Years passed and the boys grew into young men. Uchenna, raised as the prince, became proud, arrogant, and unkind. Obinna, raised in Mazi Nnadi's household, endured harsh treatment, but grew humble, strong, and full of compassion. The people of Umudike loved Obinna. They saw in him the spirit of King Obieze himself, the same kindness, the same strength, and so whispers spread. This boy resembles the king. Could it be faith? These whispers reached Mazi Nnadi's ears. Fear gripped him. As time went on, King Obieze grew weak and frail. His end was near and the kingdom prepared for the day Uchenna would be crowned. But Mazi Nnadi knew the truth. If Obinna remained in the village, the secrets might be revealed. He thought to himself, I must remove Obinna and do it without suspicion. Only then will Uchenna take the throne without challenge. Mazi Nnadi devised a cruel plan. Pretending to act in loyalty, he sent Obinna to fetch a forbidden branch from the sacred tree, a task forbidden by tradition. The trap was set. Obinna was caught. And in the land of Umudike, anyone who is caught is not questioned but banished immediately. Unbeknownst to the people of Umudike, this had been Mazi Nnadi's plot all along. He guilt-tripped Obinna into believing that this was a secret between himself, Obinna, and the king, that the king had confided in him as his brother, that the only cure he needed to his illness was from the sacred tree. And so, Mazi Nnadi had to guilt-trip Obinna into believing that he was the only one brave enough to go to the sacred tree and pluck from it, for then the king would be made whole again. And this was how Obinna journeyed along to the sacred tree. That very day, as Obinna walked into exile, tragedy struck the kingdom. King Obieze closed his eyes in death. The people mourned bitterly, but Mazi Nnadi smiled in secret. His plan was working. The throne seemed within his grasp, but destiny cannot be stolen forever. With King Obieze gone and Obina banished, the people of Umudike carried out the coronation ceremony. But before the coronation ceremony, there were two royal tests to be carried out to prove that the king or the incoming king was indeed worthy of the throne. The first stage of the test was to be able to lift the king's scepter. Mazi Nnadi already plotted with a fake seer to ensure that his son Uchenna was able to lift the scepter. Indeed, he was able to lift the scepter with ease, and the crowd applauded. But unease rippled through the crowd still. Some whispered, "There's power in him, but I do not see the king's true spirits in him." However, the second stage of the coronation required the new heir to sit upon the king's throne. Uchenna stepped forward with pride. His chest puffed in triumph, but the throne enchanted by the gods rejected him. His body froze. There was lightning and thunder. Uchenna was stuck and could not rise. Panic swept through the assembly. Villagers gasped, elders whispered, and Mazi Nnadi's face twisted with fear. Destiny, it seemed, would not be denied. Away from the palace as Obina wandered in the forest. At night, he laid beneath an Udara tree and had a dream. In this dream, he sees an empty throne, a shimmery scepter, and a baby beneath the throne. This dream was quite confusing to him, and then he wakes up in that shock and confusion. Before him stood a seer. This was strange and he felt cringe, but then the seer narrates everything he had seen in that dream. As the old man's eyes gleamed with wisdom, he spoke, "Obina, your suffering is not in vain. You're the son of King Obieze, the rightful heir of Umudike. The dreams you have carried are signs of destiny. The gods have chosen you." Obina listened, tears streaming down his face. Strength returned to his heart, and he vowed, "I will return. I will claim my place. Justice will be done." Back in Umudike, Uchenna's death brought fear and doubt in the hearts of the people. And one day Obina returned. The villagers stared in amazement. His bearing, his face, his noble spirit, all mirrored King Obieze. Whispers of recognition spread through the crowd. "This is the king's son. This is the true heir." The elders demanded the truth. Mazi Nnadi trembled as his web of lies unraveled. In the open square, Mazi Nnadi's guilt was revealed. Tormented by shame, he tore his clothes and fell to the ground, writhing in madness. Now Uchenna was dead and gone. Mazi Nnadi's wife died out of grief. He lost everything. However, the people of Umudike rejoiced because finally the one deserving of the throne had arrived to take his place, and Obina was crowned the next king of Umudike. The end. Thank you for watching till the end of this tale. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Drop in your comments on what you think about this story. If you're just joining us, you're very much welcome. Subscribe and ring the notification bell so the next story finds you first. Until next time, stay blessed. Bye bye.